Hello everyone. Good evening. It's Friday night. It's 9 p.m. It's time for our PSAI talk show. Well, I see that some of you have already joined us live on Facebook. So you all knew this anyways, right? So 9 p.m. Friday is the time for PSAI talk show. I'm Kiran Padi. I'm a proud member of the PSAI Mumbai chapter, and it is with great pleasure I invite you all to yet another exciting episode at the PSAI talk show. Now, let me know in the comments which part of the country, in fact, which part of the world you are joining us from. And please do tag and invite others to join us in today's conversation. Well, before I invite our guest today, let me share a little bit about PSAI. Professional Speakers Association of India has been formed to help build a strong community to help you enhance your professional speaking career globally. We are very proud to be part of the Global Speakers Federation. PSAI provides members with comprehensive mentoring, resources, networking, and that too throughout a lifetime. PSAI has a vision to be the number one professional association for professional speakers and is on a mission to empower professional speakers of India to influence, to thrive, and to achieve excellence in the business of speaking. We are driven by the four core values of PSAI, which is respect, integrity, trust, and excellence. We strive to display all these values, integrate these values in whatever we do at PSAI. Well, it's now time to bring our guest. Our guest, Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani, is one of the founding pillars of PSAI. He is also the immediate past president of PSAI Chennai chapter. As Chennai chapter head, he has put up the scaffolding by defining the processes and policies. He started his career in the hardcore plant operations in a petroleum refinery, and later he moved on to the IT/ITES industry. Now, though he was familiar with hardware and software, he never forgot the human wear. So that's why he exhibited passion towards knowledge management initiatives wherever he worked. And for the past 12 years, he has been part of the Toastmasters International and has been a lighthouse for many of his proteges as a mentor. 2 years back, he founded Jigyashika. Well, Jigyashika is an amalgamation of Jigyasa and Yashika, which is curiosity and success. Today, Dr. Sundar is a professional speaker, mindset explorer, design thinking evangelist, Canva advocate, and a consultant. Let's hear from him in tonight's talk show about his pursuit of excellence towards becoming a world-class global speaker. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sundar to our PSAI talk show.
Hi, good evening, Kiran. I am extremely delighted to be here. Awesome.
Good evening, Dr. Sundar. I am delighted to speak with you today as well. As I was going through your profile, as I was sharing this with the audience, I realized that you put on different hats. There's a speaking hat, you're a consultant, you're an author, and as a polymath, you have varied interests, right? Like quizzing, watercoloring, music, and so much more. And I can't help but wonder when we hear a lot about this fact that the niches, the riches are in the niches. And in professional speaking as well, we talk about niches. So, Dr. Sundar, what I want to understand from you is, as a professional speaker, what is your niche and how did you find your niche?
Yes, of course, this niche is a little dynamic and it is a little seasonal depending on the market needs and depending on my mood. This niche also keeps varying. So, right now, for the professional speaking community, I try to emphasize on the power of metaphors. So, how with the power of metaphors one can make their speech memorable. So, this is what I am focusing on. Of course, I have other topics too. So, probably I'll cover that a little later.
Okay, so power of metaphors, it's like looking at things metaphorically. And at this point of time, Dr. Sen, let me take this opportunity and talk with our audience here. Watch out for the metaphors that are coming up in our talk show. So, all of you, please keep your ears, eyes, everything open and hear the kind of metaphors Dr. Sundar is going to use. You can count them and become aware, be conscious of that and share it towards the end of this talk in the comments. I'm going to ask you to do that. So please be aware, please be conscious of the kind of metaphors he's using. So back to you, Dr. Sundar. I would like to refer to your keynote speech in PSS 2021, where you spoke beautifully on the power of metaphors. So please tell us, how can we as professional speakers use the power of metaphors, in fact, leverage this extended metaphors to make our speech memorable one? So what I basically want to understand is, how can we develop this?
Yes. So I think many seasoned speakers they use metaphors in an unconscious manner, and sometimes people proactively use them to embellish their sentence. But primarily, I would like to start with the four different categories of metaphors. One is explicit one, which is very evident. No, for example, if you say someone is having a golden heart, it means it is so pure, so you can easily understand. And some of them are a little implicit. For example, the very popular Shakespeare's "All the world is stage and the men and women are actors." You have to put a little extra effort to understand the inner meaning. Then the third one is a visual metaphor. Visual metaphor is predominantly used by the marketing companies or wherever you see the visuals and icons. But the last one is very important for the professional speaking community, which is extended metaphor. Extended metaphor is slightly different, which means the entire artifact. For example, if you are a writer, throughout your book, if you are a poet, throughout the poetry, or if you are a speaker, throughout your speech, you take a single theme and then try to give extended metaphor. That is where your speech becomes so memorable. So people will be able to remember beyond what you have said. So that is the power of a metaphor. So I think umpteen number of examples are there. Even in the recent times, if you see the US elections, the presidential candidates, Trump and Biden, in just three of their each speeches, they have liberally used metaphors. In fact, a political analyst, they have tried to make account of it. So I think in six of their speeches, they have used more than 350 metaphors. So that because they know the power of metaphor. So it makes your speech memorable one.
Okay, that's very interesting, and it brings me to another question, and I really want to understand from you, in your professional speaking experience so far, how has your experience been with using these metaphors? And if you particularly can recall any of your speeches which was laden with the metaphors and it made a big impact and something which you really remember.
Yeah, true. So let me try to give a context to why I showed some fascination towards the metaphors. So, as you mentioned, for almost more than 12 years, I have been a Toastmaster. In Toastmaster, there is a concept called table topic. So, where the topic master gives a topic and you are supposed to speak for 2 minutes impromptu. Most of the time, these topics will be a popular quote or sayings. And if you keenly observe, most of the sayings or quotes, they have metaphors. And as a speaker, you are not supposed to speak literally about that. For example, if I say that if the topic given is a candle can light, the candle does not lose anything by lighting another candle. Actually, I am not supposed to talk about the candle. So I have to understand the inner meaning. Probably here, knowledge is internally referred, right? So implicitly referred. So I have to understand the implicit meaning and then I have to make a meaningful speech, even whether it is 2 minutes or 5 minutes. So over a period of time, I thought of doing the reverse engineering, right? So instead of taking a metaphor and then giving a message, now I started whenever when I give a prepared speech, when I want to come out with a message, why not I use a metaphor? So when I make a metaphorical reference, then the speech becomes powerful.
Okay, that's beautiful. And let me put this question to our audience as well. How many of you use metaphors in your speech if you're a professional speaker, whether at whatever level that you are in? If you do use metaphors, just type in yes I do. And if you're someone who wants to learn more from Dr. Sundar on how to do that, type in want to learn more from him. So back to you, Dr. Sundar. Let us talk a little bit about your journey with PSAI. What difference has PSAI made in your life?
Yes, in fact, I have been part of PSA when before it got formally chartered. So I used to attend all the demo meetings where we used to have only 3 or 4 members. So Kiruba Shankar very well knows about it. So I used to physically attend all the meetings from the beginning. So this journey is wonderful. In the last 3 years, uh, we have made a wonderful network. So that is the first great takeaway. So even within our Chennai chapter, we have more than 60 members. And honestly speaking, I have not personally interacted with them. Personally, I have not met more than 60% of them. But the kind of bonding we have established in the last 1 year is tremendous. The reason is week after week, without a break, we meet and then we participate in a variety of events. So before the meeting, after the meeting, no, so the kind of network does help a lot. So now after Chennai chapter, the thing has also gone beyond the chapters. So I am also connected with the other chapters like Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad. So the I feel that the world has become so small, right? Also in the last 1 year. So especially within our country, so we have become a great network, and then we have become a single family, and now things are going beyond the country. So even overseas fellow speakers, I'm able to connect with them with ease. So that is one of the greatest takeaway. Of course, the other takeaways are we bring a lot of guest speakers, and each one is trying to bring in their own perspective. And this is beyond public speaking. So just not the speaking tips. So we are discussing hardcore things on the business of professional speaking. That is how to get paid speaking gigs. So what are all the things to be done for getting additional paid gigs, like building your website, and then writing your own book, or participating actively in the monthly challenges. These are all amazing things. So I like the monthly challenges, and some of the challenges I very much actively participated, and I owe a lot to my fellow members of the PSA community.
Yeah, so what I hear you talking about is the power of the community that we have at PSAI, and how it brings in so much of opportunities. It's just that, we have to grab them and make the best use of it. And there are a lot of opportunities at PSAI. So is that what you're also trying to say?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so Dr. Sundar, you have been the past president of the PSAI chapter, and last year at the PSAI board, you served the role of the secretary as well. So, what potential did you see in this association? And I'm sure, in addition to potential, you may have also seen some kind of challenges also at PSAI. And so, what I want to understand is, how was it for you to be on the creator side of the PSAI?
Yes. So initially, when I was not taking any position like ordinary member, even I used to have nitpick. So I used to grib a lot. So, but the moment I was onboarded, then I thought I should contribute. So the one thing is, so since this is a very nascent organization, there were no policies in place. So I tried to chase people and then do active follow up, and then try to bring in processes in place. In fact, even to conduct a general body meeting, so it took Herculean task. But finally, we managed to do that, and right now, most of the processes are in place. So I think we have to go to the next orbit. So the I think all the teething troubles have been taken care. So of course, it is not a effort of a single person. So it is a collective effort. So with synergetic efforts and then continuous interaction with people, we were able to achieve all the obstacles. Now we are cleared, and we are now going on to the next orbit. So I think the days coming are now, they are going to be really really exciting. So especially when we are going to interact with the global speaking community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the kind of exposure that one gets at PSAI, it's tremendous. Which kind of brings me to the next question. I'm really curious to understand. You mentioned about being the lighthouse and creating for your proteges, as a mentor, being that lighthouse. So at PSAI, how have you been the lighthouse, and what kind of role did you play for people who wanted to get into PSAI to pursue the career of professional speaking? Please do share some of those experiences with us.
Okay. So honestly speaking, like other communities here, I have not done any proactively. I have not done any mentoring part. Of course, when people approach me, I never say no. So I help people a lot. But honestly, I have not proactively gone and then help people. In fact, I try to bring in this habit of or the practice of speech evaluation in some of our meetings. But right now, people are not very keen in taking the feedback. So probably, I think it is going to take a little more time. So probably once these kind of practices are brought in, so we can actually contribute. But of course, within my excom, the small set of organizers who were running the show. So definitely, it is a mutual exchange of thoughts, and each one of us have contributed a lot. So I have shared my tips, and I also taken tips from others. So these kind of interaction within the XCOM is tremendous.
Yeah, I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say this. When you were a part of the PSAI Mumbai chapter, you've been there in many of the open mics, and the kind of feedback that you have shared for the speakers, I think the value that was shared was huge. And we have seen how you come in all these chapters, in all these meets, and you share so much. You have that attitude of giving, and we have always learned a lot from you, uh, Dr. Sundar. So
Thank
I
you.
think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone over here.
Thank you.
So now I again would like to move to PSAI, and I would like to, with your permission, bring into conversation your wife into this conversation. So I remember when I was in PSS 2021, I was attending PSS 2021, and I was in the breakout room with your wife, Jayanti, and we were having some kind of discussion, and all of us in that breakout room could hear you in another breakout room, so we could clearly hear what discussion was going on over there as well. And we asked Jayanti, okay, so both of you, are you in the same room? So nevertheless, so no, not going to deeper into that conversation. I'm wondering how having two speakers, it's both you and your wife, both of you are a part of PSAI. How does the dynamics of having two speakers at home work out for you?
Yeah, probably I should admit that teaching is in our family bloodline. So, in fact, my parents were teachers, and my in-law is my uncle. So he is also, though he worked in a audit firm, So at the end of his retirement career, he used to be a professor. So I think even Jayanti was a teacher for a brief period of time, and even I was when I was in a petroleum refinery in the last 15 years, the last 5 years, I was in the training center. So I used to train people in operator training simulator, which is something similar to the flight simulator. So I think somewhere that teaching, training, speaking, so all these genes are still continuing. And fortunately, Jayanti and myself, we have a lot of synergy. And she being a dancer, she is really expressive, and the delivery is so comfortable for her. So whereas scripting a new topic or a speech, organizing things and trying to add the rhetorical devices like metaphors kind of stuff, that is easy for me. So we complement each other. So whenever she is in need of a speech, I prepare the basic draft and she will fine tune. And similarly, whenever I need something inputs from the delivery front, she used to help a lot. So this journey started in Toastmasters, and it continued in PSA too.
Wow, that's beautiful. Both of you seem to be complementing each other so beautifully well. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I would like to, look at the comments over here, Dr. Sundar, and I see all these people sharing such beautiful comments. So Nija says, you cannot beat him for promptness and perseverance. A lot of structure we have today is thanks to his push.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
Agree to that.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm humbled.
Yes, and Anupriya says, you indeed are a wonderful teacher. I remember your wonderful masterclass on Canva. Yes, I do that too. We all know that you're someone who's always on the top of technology and tools that one can use in this field, especially in the field of professional speaking, and Canva and mind mapping particularly. You did one masterclass with us, and we were blown by the value that you gave us in that masterclass. So, Dr. Sundar, how do you, as a professional speaker, use these tools? Particularly, let's talk about mind mapping. How do you use mind mapping as a professional speaker?
Yeah, few years back I got exposed to mind map, and actually I'm really thrilled to see the power of mind map, because many a times as a speaker or a writer, no, you get into a lot of overwhelming issues, lack of clarity. So, for example, what points you want to bring in, what kind of stories you want to bring into your speech, and in which order you have to bring it. So actually, even I was struggling a lot, with conventional tools like MS Word, cut and paste, and then try to copy and paste in multiple places. And then I tried flashcard kind of techniques. But finally, when I got exposed to mind maps, it looked really awesome. So you have the central theme, and then the software is now it is comes so handy. So you can try to put all your thoughts into places. So and you get absolute clarity, right? So whether you want to give a speech, or you want to write an article, or even after reading about, suppose you want to give a book review, so everything can be done with a mind map. So actually the potential of mind map is so tremendous. So beyond public speaking, or beyond this kind of genre, no, even people can use it for project management, event management, or any kind of creative stuff. So primarily it is helping you to channelize your thoughts into proper canvas, and then get a visual picture of out of it. So in a single single canvas, you are able to see all your thoughts put together, and you have the freedom to organize them. So that is where I try to leverage mind map to a great extent.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think one of the essential tools now to learn is mind mapping, and being aware of the different tools, different technology that is available for all of us as professional speaker. And I think with people like you in our PSAI community, it's safe to say that we are in good hands, because we keep learning from all of you here in PSA. And I think that's the power of, once again, talking about the community of PSAI. That's the power of the community that we have at PSAI. Okay, so I'm again bringing my focus back to the audience here. So Nina says, Sundar has is single-handedly responsible for making PSAI a legal entity. That's yes, that's true. That's very true. We have a question here, Dr. Sundar, from Narendra. He's asking, which software are you using for mind mapping?
Yeah, actually, there are multiple tools available here. Suppose if someone wants to experiment, there are so many free versions are there. So the free versions have got a lot of limitation. But after doing some due diligence, what I have done is right now I'm using a tool called Wondershare. So the Wondershare is rated best. So when I bought this particular software, probably things would have got changed. I don't know, but this comes quite handy. So you can do so many things. So you can embed pictures, and then you can come out with different colored background. So it is so versatile. I am so comfortable with that. So Wondershare tool. Yes,
Yeah.
so this
So
particular
here we
slide.
have, yeah, sorry, please go on.
This mind map, I try to use it for a book review. So, in fact, after reading Frederick Herron's book, I gave a book review. So, I think it is one of the PSA meetings. So, this is where I try to use the mind map. So, what are the contents? And the contents are the 23 chapters divided into three segments. What are all the different features about the book, and bio about Frederick Herron, etc.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. This also reminds me of the mind maps that you shared during the PSS, the Professional Speakers Summit as well, and you made our life so much easier with all everything coming into one single mind map with respect to all the schedule of all the 3 days. So yes, people, audience, whoever is watching, Dr. Sundar, please take this up. Mind mapping is a blessing, and it makes life much easier because it's all visual over here. Okay, great, fantastic. Dr. Sundar, I would now like to. I'm going to change my hat. The way you put on different multiple hats. So this hat is of the next segment of our PSAI talk show, and I would like to invite you for this next round of the talk show. So I have with me, and I'm learning from you. You're someone who also likes to use a lot of props. I've seen that. So I have with me these two cards in my hand. I'm holding two cards. Now, on one of those cards, if you can see, audience, if you can see, just type in yes, we can see that. So on the first card, I have metaphor challenge for you. On the first card, I have the metaphor challenge for you. And on the second card, I have a mixed bag. Mixed bag questions. I'll ask a few more questions. I'm giving you a choice to pick one of these cards, and we will go with that. So, metaphor challenge or mixed bag? What is it going to be?
We'll go with the metaphor challenge.
Okay, all right. So, metaphor challenge it is going to be, everyone. And I know when I asked this question in the beginning, lot of few people mentioned that they want to learn more from you. So this is your chance, everyone. Please keep a watch on this metaphor challenge. So, Dr. Sundar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few words or maybe some phrases, and I'm request you to create a metaphor for that. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. So the first one, I think this should come very easy to you. This was the theme of our PSS 2021. Raise the game.
Yes, racing the game. So first of all, we need to understand our game, and so we need to know our targets. So if you know the target, so obviously you will raise the game. So it is absolutely essential to know where you stand, and then you will raise the game.
Beautiful, beautiful. That was beautiful metaphor. Let me ask you the second one. The second is clarity.
Okay, so I think, as I mentioned, the lack of clarity does not help us to make progress. So that is where mind maps very helpful. So if you have absolute clarity, so probably I'm not able to bring a metaphorical definition for clarity, but I can give what is that, a proverb that maybe that will help you to understand clarity. For example, when I heard this proverb, knowing tomato is a fruit is knowledge, but not to put it in fruit salad is wisdom. So that is where you get the clarity between knowledge and wisdom. So right now I am able to respond in this way. Hope I
Wow,
did some
that's
justification.
beautiful. So, audience, we have the master in play here with the metaphor king. Please keep watching. The third one, Dr. Sundar, this word is comedy.
Sorry, come again.
Comedy.
Okay. So actually, I did a little bit of research when I tried to give a humorous speech. So when something goes wrong, people laugh, right? For example, if a person falls down, immediately everyone laughs. The entire crowd laughs. So suppose imagine that a person is hurt and if he start bleeding, will people still keep laughing? So that is where the theory of laughter is there. So when it is benign, people will laugh, but when it is malignant, right? So benign means it is harmless, so people will laugh. When it becomes malignant, so immediately the situation turns up, and then people stop laughing. So you should understand at what point of time you will be able to bring comedy or humor. So as long as it is benign, so that means it is harmless.
Wow, that's a beautiful way of putting that. Thank you for sharing that beautiful metaphor with us, Dr. Sundar. And let me move on to the last one. And this, I simply took this word because I love that. And that word is mango.
Oh, okay. So I think as a human being, we should be like a mango. Means So everyone cannot be a clone. Mango has got more than 100 varieties in India itself, right? So like mango, each one has to have our own different kind of uniqueness and traits. At the same time, all of us should be sweet enough so that people get attracted to us, right? So by appearance, by taste, we should be attracted with each one of us, and at the same time, we should maintain uniqueness.
Oh, I love that. Uniqueness, attractiveness. Beautiful, beautiful. That's a wonderful way of giving metaphors to these words and phrases. So that was metaphor challenge, everyone. I kind of can't let go of this card, which is mixed bag. If you want me to ask him questions from the mixed bag, please type in mixed bag in the comment because I have some really good questions and I kind of don't want to let this go. So type in mixed bag in the comment in the chat if you want me to ask these questions to Dr. Sundar. Yes, and I see there are so many comments which are coming in. John says Sundar is a great example of leading with humility, an amazing human being and a great leader. That's beautiful. Okay, so yes, so we have people asking for the mixed bag as well. So, Dr. Sundar, your first question. So this is going to be a rapid fire round. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and without thinking a lot, whatever comes to your mind, please do share with us. So, number one,
Sure.
top five must have tools in the business of professional speaking.
So I think mind map, irrespective of the brand or product, mind map is a must. And I think most of us use slide decks. So rather than more than PowerPoint, I am comfortable with the Canva. So with the Canva, not only you will be able to create slide decks, you will be able to create flyers, infographics, your business cards, whatnot. So everything you can create with the help of Canva. And of course, the video editing tools. My recent exposure is in Adobe Premiere, so I'm so comfortable. So earlier I used to have this Windows Movie Maker, so where I have to put a lot of efforts. But now with Adobe Premiere, I'm able to do it with ease. So these three tools immediately comes to my mind. What else? So I think right now only three tools that comes to my
Okay. So
mind.
those are the top three tools you use in the business of your professional speaking. Great. Second one, prepared or extempore. What is your style?
So actually, as I said earlier, Toastmasters, we continuously used to participate in table topics, which is extempore. But we used to have the contest also. No, for contest we had to prepare ourselves. So even when I start taking education sessions, I used to say that even the impromptu speeches are prepared speeches. So only thing at one point of time you would have prepared, and that will come in handy. That will reside in your subconscious mind. And when someone is asking a impromptu question, then automatically it will come. So suppose if you don't have such kind of exposure, you will not be able to answer. So obviously the impromptu speaking is the most loud one. So of course the prepared speeches always you have more time to talk to people. But in impromptu speeches, in less time, you will be able to make much more impact. So I love impromptu speeches.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I think what comes into picture over here is when you have a niche or the topics that you are speaking on as a professional speaker, that itself makes you prepared for any kind of a speech that you want to make. So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Sundar. So that brings me to the third question. Uh, three topics that you speak on.
So in the last few years, I'm continuously speaking on design thinking. So design thinking, not only I give keynote speeches, I conduct workshops, 3 days workshop, 1 day workshop, then mind mapping, then presentation skills, Canva mastery, which is covering the presentation mastery. So these are the three topics I keep talking.
Okay. Next question. Answer this. Never have I ever.
Come again?
Never have I ever. So complete this. Never have I ever.
Never have I ever stopped learning. So I think for learning, there is no age, no time limit. So irrespective of your age or position, you have to keep learning.
Yes, that's beautiful. Dr. Sundar, one thing, tell us one thing that people don't know about you.
So actually, the way I interact with people, many people think that I'm actually a serious person. So, but in reality, I'm not a serious person. I'm a fun-loving person. So, in fact, in family get-togethers, I used to dance a lot. So, I used to do all funny stuff, right? So I love being a non-serious person. So somehow because of the way I interact with the social gathering, not the first instant, I give an impression that I'm a serious person, I'm a rigid person kind of thing. But I'm a fun-loving person. I participate in any fun activity. So that is one. So for example, even today, I would love to learn magic and then do magic in front of my family members. So these are all some of the things I do.
Okay, wow, that's something that we didn't know much about you. So thank you once again for sharing that. And it brings me to the last and something which I really, really want to know from you. Tell us three words that define who Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani is.
So three words: passion. So I think many of my colleagues and my leaders have mentioned this word when they want to refer about me. So whatever I do with utmost passion. So that keeps me energetic. So whatever I do, whether it is a professional thing or a personal thing, I do with the utmost passion. And second thing is perseverance. So I never give up. So I try to be consistent and persistent to achieve whatever I want. What else I can say? And keep learning. So I don't. I always get goosebumps when I try to learn something new, and also when I have absolute clarity, then I want to teach others. So learning and then let others learn. So that will be the third term or the phrase I'd like to talk about myself.
Beautiful. So, passion, persistence, and learning. So, those are the three words that define with you. And these are powerful words, which I think each one of us needs to have in our life as well. So, thank you so much, Dr. Chintamani, for participating in the mix bag in the rapid fire and opening your heart and sharing so much stuff with us. Now for our audience, have you been listening to the metaphors that he was using during our talk show? If you remember any of those metaphors, if you've put a note, had a note of, made a note of that, share in the comments all the metaphors that you've heard Dr. Sundar using in our talk show. So now back to you, Dr. Sundar. Thank you so much once again. And as we come to the end of our talk today, what would you like to share as your closing thoughts, Dr. Sundar? What is that one message that you would like to share with our audience today?
So, irrespective of the forum, I think the most important thing is wherever you go, whether it is an organization or the corporate organization or an informal setup like the ours. I think people expect you to have great attitude. I think attitude is one important thing. So, with attitude, you can achieve whatever you want, and the power of positive mindness, the positive mindness. So with this, so obviously you can conquer all kind of challenges, and you will be as a collectively, as a collective group, we will be able to achieve our goals. So with that, let me conclude, and thank you, Kiran, for hosting me, and fantastic, and thank you, PSA Mumbai, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm extremely delighted to be part of this show, and I'm glad to take so much of feedback from fellow members and guests. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sundar, once again. And please do, before you leave, please do let us know what is the best way to reach you.
I think email would be the easiest mode, sundar@sundarspeaks.com. So I think that will be the easiest mode. So I'll be able to get whatever you want to share. So probably WhatsApp and other things, it is slightly overwhelming, and I may miss out on messages. So I think the connecting through email will be the best thing. Sundar at
Okay, so that
sundarspeaks.com.
great, fantastic, fantastic. So thank you so much once again, Dr. Sundar, for sharing your wisdom and sharing your value and inspiring all of us who all of them who's watching you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. So, well, that was a very deep and insightful conversation that we all had. We listened to Dr. Sundararaman Chintamani, isn't it? I'm just bringing my attention back to all these chats, all these comments, and thank you to all of you for sharing beautiful comments and sharing all the, keeping your ears open for all those metaphors. So I see that Anupriya has been sharing a lot of metaphors. Want to mention her name here. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so let me now invite my co-host Bharti Naik in the studio to share with us her takeaways from today's show.
Hi, Kiran, how are you?
Hi Bharti, good to see you.
Yes, it is amazing to listen to the talk show, and especially when Dr. Sundar was sharing so many insights about metaphors, about mind mapping, tools for a professional speaker. And the best part that I loved about him was, I think that's as a professional speaker, we all must have these three things: passion, perseverance, and learning. And I think that's the best qualities that we can have as professional speakers. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I think it doesn't matter whichever level of professional speaking that you may be at. These are kind of values, isn't it, Bharti? Your passion, your perseverance, persistence, learning. So these are the kind of values that we all need in this journey of professional speaking. So beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed having that discussion. It's kind of opened my head and my mind around using metaphors. And I'm someone who makes a lot of notes. So what I'm going to do is after this talk show, I'm again going to watch the talk show with my notepad and pen ready and writing down all those metaphors. So that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, as the talk show was progressing, I could also intertwine. I could see that how the metaphors have been intertwined in the entire talk, entire
Mm.
conversation. It was something very very good for me to learn from Sundar, especially because when he was quoting all the metaphors, there were a lot of meanings that were attached to that metaphor, and that was very interesting. And can I say that he used metaphors metaphorically in the conversation?
Yes, yes, beautifully put.
So and plus the kind of tools that he shared, the insights that he gave about PSAI as a very strong pillar, a founding member of PSAI, being on both the sides, being as a member and then being at the creative field where he can contribute to PSAI as an association. That was something very deep for me to learn as a member, because I always believe in one thing, that if you ask any PSAI member, any professional speaker who's there as a part of PSAI, they will only give you one word, and that is growth. And the reason why they put it as growth, because if you want to grow this much, you can always walk alone, struggle, look for trials and error, find anything that you want to, and then you can move up the ladder in your success. But if you want to grow long term, like you want to go really far and fulfill your dreams, your goals, it's to be with the community, it's to be with all the buddies that we have together as professional speaker. And that's what I had a very big impact when he mentioned about how he contributed and what were the entire things that he went through to make it a strong association. So that will be my very big takeaway from his talk.
And I think I totally, totally agree with you on this, Bharti. I've seen the kind of value that we get being a part of
Yeah.
this PSAI community, and not just the chapter, but we have all the chapters helping each other. All the members from different chapters coming together, helping each other, being there, and helping each one of us on that growth towards being that professional speaker. That brings me to the point of asking you this question, Bharti. It's again, membership time. We want more like-minded people as well in joining us at PSAI. Would you like to share about our membership?
Yeah, and that's what I would like to bring in, that as a PSAI member, when Sundar was sharing about so many areas where we can grow together, where we can learn so many things in the association, by being in the association itself, I would really want to tell you that being with PSAI for over a year now, almost like 2 years now, I have seen myself, my personal growth has been tremendous in this over these 2 years now. And the reason why I'm saying is because I had my share of transition from being a corporate trainer to a coach to a professional speaker. Now, how did I made it happen for myself? How did I had this kind of success and the growth? It is all because you are in the right community, you are with the right people. So when you are into when you are with the right community, right people, you get right kind of environment, you get right kind of learning, right direction, and that's what is required. So when I say that membership, April is already on, the membership is open. I would want everybody who is a professional speaker, who's aspiring to be a speaker, and who's already an expert in their own domains. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a financial expert, you could be a psychologist, anybody who is expert in their domain, they can be a part of PSCI community where they can speak, they can share their message, and they can really put that voice forward to the world. And you will learn how to have those right tools. What is the mentors? What are the members doing at PSAI? So I would want you all to go to psai.in, look for membership, and join into the community. It's a beautiful community where we give, we serve to the community, and then the growth starts happening. Yes, Kiran.
Yes, absolutely, Bharti. And thank you so much for putting it so beautifully well. So, all of you who are thinking how to pursue your or how to even begin your professional speaking career, then PSAI is the right place for you. You will get all the support, all the guidance, right tools, the mentorship that you're looking for, and learn the tricks of being a professional speaker. All of that you will get it in PSAI. So please go ahead and reach out to us for becoming a member of PSAI.
And not to forget, Kiran, the most amazing and interesting part. I look forward to that time of the year when we have our flagship event. And
Yes.
this would be my third flagship event that I'll be attending, which is going to happen in year 2022, and that's going to be happening in Mumbai, a physical event that we will all come together as a speakers, as a network, as a community, and we'll learn, we'll share, we'll have our own time of laughter and fun and so much of learning that we can have together. So the flagship event is happening next year, 2022, hosted by our Mumbai chapter, PSCI Mumbai chapter. And this is going to be amazing. This is going to be interesting. So if you really want, if you're keen to register yourself right now, even before the tickets are open, even before, if you want to book your seat and say, yes, I want to come for that event, you can go to psci.in and go to the event PSS 2022.
Yes, and let me tell you, that's one event that you must not miss. You will be in the proximity of speakers, not only from India, but from all the international speakers sharing so much of value. So be there, register for PSS 2022, and we will meet you at PSS
Yeah.
2022. So thank you so much, Bharti, for sharing all this information about membership, about the PSS Summit. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kiran, for having me here.
Thank you, Bharti. And it's time now to close the talk show. To our wonderful audience, tell us what stood out for you in today's talk show. Leave in comments. We would love to read them, and it will also help us to make this better and better. Now, when you decide to be a PSAI member, we will see you in our internal meets. Every week we have these meets, we have these connects learning sessions. So when you decide to become a member, we're going to see you and meet you in those PSAI internal meets. And we will also be looking forward to seeing you at the PSS 2022. So it's time to close now. We will once again meet next Friday at 9 p.m., bringing you all yet another exciting episode with our guest from PSAI. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, wear mask, and have a great evening and wonderful weekend, everyone. I'm Kiran Padi, your host, signing off for today.